With a new project coming out of the ground, we all agreed that we should put into place all the tools and know-how that we have at our disposal. As an IT group of a multinational company and responsible for all our network security, we felt that we were ready for the challenge. After all, these OT devices have come a long way. They are IP-based and should conform to the same rules and tools we apply to our IT devices. But we were wrong.
I'm here today representing the one of the largest facilities built in the last 3 years. What we hope to do with this facility, because we're combining multiple facets of our company's operations into one massive headquarters, we also wanted this headquarters to make a statement about our business, about our industry. We knew it was going to have impact in the community, and so consequently, we really put our head together to say, how can we make this smart building the smartest building it can be? In years past, we've had facilities that had multiple combined systems that actually had interactions between power systems and HVAC systems and lighting systems and so forth. And we knew we wanted to take that, what we were doing, and bring it to the next level with this new facility. So anyway, we began the process very early in a vetting process to determine what systems we wanted to have connected. And we knew that it was going to have a heavy IT component. Necessarily, we had to have IT component because we were monitoring quality of power. We were monitoring smart destination-based elevators. We were monitoring temperature control, obviously lighting control, access control, security video, people counters, and so forth. And so we already had this huge IT asset planned to go into the facility, and we wanted to utilize that to the maximum extent so we could obviously have a lot more flexibility. We thought we had everything all worked out. In the very beginning, we had all the facilities people brought together. We brought the vendors together. We had a charrette, let's say, about how the systems are going to connect and what interactions they were going to have. Who was going to basically be the stakeholders consuming the information. Were we going to have analytics? How are we going to work this system out? We took all those facility things in place, and we really felt like, because we had the IT team on board, I'll say, in the beginning, that they would be an active member and play an active role. But that's where kind of things began to run off the rail toward the end of the project. Toward the end of the project, we'd cranked all the systems up. We'd done a complete commissioning, individual systems as well as the combined system. We brought in a third-party commissioning team specializing in not only interaction of the commissioning of the systems, but also to look at us from a cyber footprint. How were we secure? Did we have any loopholes? Did we have any cross connects, cross feeds, open ports, and so forth? We completed that complete system commissioning process, and we're ready to occupy the building. On the day before occupancy, however, we discovered that almost the entire connected interactive system was offline. We had some over 6,000 individual components that were not communicating. And this was not just the lights wouldn't come on. This was the elevators wouldn't come to the floor. The elevators wouldn't respond. Access control didn't work. Temperature controls didn't work. Lighting controls didn't work. And immediately, you can imagine, our facilities team went into an all-out panic because we were ready to occupy a building. So what did we do? We called all the vendors and immediately began to suspect somebody must have done something. Somebody must have unplugged something. Somebody must have put in the wrong port. Someone must have someone. And ultimately, all the vendors came. To their credit, they came to us and said, "How can we help? What can we do?" Ultimately, though, what we learned is our IT team, and our IT team, very important to our business, as I've already said. You know, we're an information and entertainment business, and obviously connectivity is very important. So our IT team, in their final step, elected to do one more scan of our network. And unfortunately, or fortunately, the tool they used was very robust. Very robust in the fact that it scanned much more diligently than most of these interconnected systems could withstand what they would normally be subjected to. So consequently, each of those systems suffered a complete denial of service hack, if you want to say that, as a result of our IT team. Our IT team came to realize that quickly because of the activity of our vendors, our commissioning agents, and basically said, "Yep, we did it. We were the problem. What do we need to do to fix it?" Ultimately, our contractors, our system suppliers, our commissioning agents all pitched in, and it was laborious. It was laborious. In one instance, we had some power monitoring equipment above a data center that literally was above a suspended ceiling, and each individual power monitoring device had to be manually accessed and manually reset using a stepladder over the aisles and rows of the data center. It was quite laborious. So nonetheless, we took our time, we did it right, we got the systems back online, and boy, did we learn a lesson. The lesson we learned is not only does IT need to be involved, but they need to understand that the operational technologies that we're putting into these buildings and into this building, the way they interact with each other and the way they interact with the IT system, it's very important to have a cohesive operations and information technology team working together. Total number of devices commissioned on this project were around 10,000. Those systems were commissioned 100% and ready for occupancy. There was a strong contractual obligation to allow move-in a certain day. And unfortunately, the biggest problem that we had, over 6,000 devices of the 10,000 total, 6,000 were knocked offline.
We need to better understand the technology and function of these devices in order to protect them and not do this again. One thing would have really helped. We should have engaged with our facility folks and even their vendors so that we could all understand each other's roles and what each can and cannot do. Up until this happened, we had not really ever talked to facilities. We assumed they were doing their job, and I guess they assumed the same about us. We now have policies and procedures to help prevent this in the future because none of us, ever, want to go through something like this again.